The New Universal Library. Back in dressmaking, the rear portion of a garment which the wearer can never actually see, with only mirrors to rely on. Self-fitting of the back is sometimes difficult. It is therefore wise to make sure, before cutting out, that the back pieces of the paper pattern are an accurate fit. Compare their measurements with your own. Is your back rather bent? Get someone to measure how far down from your nape the most rounded part of the back is. At this level, marked XX in the diagram, cut the back pattern piece across almost but not quite to the armhole and insert a paper wedge. This gives the needed extra length without disturbing the armhole. The alteration throws the long central back line out of the straight and makes the shoulder slightly too long. Correct them with an added paper strip as at Y and at dart at Z. If, on the contrary, your back has a military erectness, you may need to pin a tack at X right across the armhole. When trying on a skirt with an inverted pleat at the back, note if the pleat edges fall apart untidily. Do not alter the pleat. Instead, raise the skirt at the central back waistline until the pleat edges hang close together, or if the waist is too loose, deepen its back down at this point to get a tighter fit. Back axle, the complete rear part of the transmission of a car, which carries the rear wheels. It includes half shafts, axle and differential casing, crown wheel and pinion, and the differential gear unit. The maintenance required is generally very little. As with most mechanical devices, lubrication is all important. The crown, wheel and pinion and the differential gears all run in oil, and the level of this must be maintained by topping up as necessary. Use the correct oil with numerous additives to enable it to withstand extreme pressures. Every 6,000 miles, the oil should be drained and fresh oil put in. The old oil is drained away by unscrewing a plug at the bottom of the differential housing and topped up through a combined filler and level plug. Use either a pressure oil can for this job or a polyethylene washing up liquid bottle. Always ensure the car is standing on level ground before changing a topping up, that the back axle oil, back fastenings. In soft furnishing, the means of fastening the back of a loose cover. A loose cover placket is usually in a back seam, but some armless Victorian type chairs have such curved and thin back edge that a central back opening is preferable. The illustrations show a simple concealed placket which is self-contained in the back piece. Before cutting the outside back, pin a tack 2 in wide down the fabric. Pin this down one side so that it will not be included in the width when cutting and fitting. The top of the placket will be stitched into the top back seam, so immediately after fitting it should be partially made up. Beside the placket length, there will probably be several closed inches at the top. In any case, at least in 2 in must be stitched down there if necessary. Fold over the pinned tack so that what will be the upper placket edge is on top. On this upper surface, 1 3 to over 4 in. Away from the pins, rule a vertical line, BB in. Down this line, cut open the upper layer, only of the tack. Now you have 1 3 over 4 in of spare fabric on HC and 2 1 over 4 in on the upper edge D for placketing. On both chalk the placket closing line over the pins, then remove them along D, stitch a wrap projecting 1 in into the opening, down the upper edge, fold a hand in wide at the top, lap it over D down to the placket opening and stitch through the thicknesses, the 3 sides F F F, seam together inside and outside back. Later stitch the upper hem F F and sew on press studs of every 1 over 2 in with a hook, an eye at the placket base. Backflash, the technical term for the rush of flame from the breech of a gun when it is opened after firing. Backflash was almost unknown when gunpowder was the propellant universally employed, but has caused considerable trouble since modern smokeless powders became general, owing to the residual products of the latter containing much carbon monoxide. Some of this gas in his highly heated state remains in the gun barrel and ignites on coming in contact with the oxygen of the air when the breech is opened. The effect is greatly intensified if a wind is blowing into the muzzle. Serious accidents have occurred through the backflash igniting charges near the guns, and crews have been poisoned through the carbon monoxide escaping into turrets and casemates. To eliminate this noxious gas, most modern naval guns are fitted with devices for flashing out the barrel with compressed air before opening the breech. Back projection. In cinematography, a method of providing a background in studio photography by projecting a previously made film from behind onto a translucent screen placed behind the live action. By this means, suitable background scenes, as for example storms at sea, may be photographed and stored for later use. Most film companies hold extensive libraries of such material. Back projection requires that the synchronized projector and camera must be exactly synchronized in shutter openings. Back River, another name for the Great Fish River of Canada, discovered by Sir George Back, the Arctic explorer, in 1834. Back stitch, so called because the needle always takes a backward step before going forward. It is a basic stitch important alike in dressmaking done by hand and in various embroideries such as quilting, blackwork, and honeycombing. Back stitch is the strongest and closest of plain needlework stitches and should be used for all hand sewn seams subject to strain and hard wear. In embroidery, it gives a firm, decorative line and goes easily round curves. The work back stitch bring up the needle and take a small stitch backwards, then pass the needle forward, wounded the fabric to come up the same distance in front. Take another back stitch to fill the gap between needle and first stitch. Again pass 2 stitches length underneath and so on, and as in diagram. To give a wider, more ornamental embroidered effect, work the back stitches rather longer and slightly apart. Then we cover each with a contrasting color. This is known as whipped back stitch and is shown in diagram.